I'm the Greek geek because I'm 50% Greek and 100% a geek. I realise that The Rise of Skywalker has been out for quite a while now, and there's just so much that I wanted to get off my chest from this damn movie. There are so many things I didn't talk about in my regular review, which I'll leave a link for in the description. I didn't talk about a lot of things because they were spoilers for the movie, but I wasn't really planning on doing a spoiler discussion or a spoiler review or anything like that, so this is just going to be more of a rant about all the things that I didn't like about this movie, and there's quite a lot that I want to talk about. Without further ado, let's just get straight fucking into it. Even from the opening title crawl, I felt something was wrong. Palpatine sent out a transmission telling everyone he's back and that he's gonna do some evil shit or some shit. And I just thought that was really dumb way of reintroducing Palpatine. He's just like all of a sudden rises again and everyone's like, oh, we know who Palpatine is. Even though they don't really know what the Jedi are or the Sith are or anything like that, everyone remembers Palpatine for some reason. And Kylo Ren goes looking for a holocron. I know it's not called a holocron, it's called a wayfinder, but it looks like a damn holocron to me. And he goes to it on Mustafar. And I had to watch other videos for other people to tell me that that's fucking Mustafar. That looks nothing like Mustafar. All the Star Wars planets have the exact same look for the entire planet. And why is this one different? It's supposed to be like a lava planet, and that's where Darth Vader left the Sith Wayfinder. He wants to confront Palpatine because he sees him as a threat to his power or whatever, but Palpatine manipulates him into doing his bidding. What a fucking surprise. And Palpatine does not fit into this trilogy. He's just shoved into this as fan service, I thought. And it was good enough having Snoke, but then fucking Rian Johnson killed him off, so now we've got to have some other big bag. Can't be Kylo. We just got to reintroduce Palpatine, which I thought was really dumb and doesn't fit. And he repeats his damn lines from previous movies. He talks about how the dark side is a path to many abilities, many considered to be unnatural, or something to that effect. I had to roll my eyes hard at that. And they don't really say how he survived. He hints at being cloned, and he talks about how he cloned Snoke, and Snoke was his puppet that he controlled or something. It's not really clear. There's going to be some fucking comics that are going to fill in the gaps, I know it. They're going to have to do that so people understand what the fuck is going on. And he just has this massive fleet of Star Destroyers that he keeps under the ice for some reason, and he has the power to lift up 1,000 Star Destroyers out of the ice, and his fucking power level must have increased since he died or some shit like that. And each of those fucking Star Destroyers can destroy a planet in their own right. And it just negates the reason why you'd have a Death Star. This Death Star was supposed to be this significant and one in 3 of a kind battle station that could take out planets. But no, apparently you can just mount a fucking cannon to your Star Destroyer and it's way more mobile and probably a lot more accurate and can get around faster and you can attack many planets at the same time. And he just managed to do that somehow. Why did he go into hiding? Like when he died in Return of the Jedi, why did he not just immediately reveal himself again, take control of the Empire again, and kick the rebels' asses? Instead, he just goes into hiding, builds up his Sith Empire or some shit that he's doing on Exegol, I don't know, and he allows the First Order to exist. And I don't know if a lot of you know this, but in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign that came out 2 years ago, it's revealed that the reason why the Empire fell is because the Emperor wanted it to happen when he died. He didn't want the Empire to outlive him. And that's where Operation Cinder came into place, so it made sure that the Empire would not live without Sheev Palpatine. But he fucking survived anyway. So yeah, Operation Cinder was absolutely pointless. He could have just revealed himself again and go, hey, I'm still alive, Empire, come back to me and we'll kick the rebels' asses. And I will say that at least we see Rey doing some more training in this, like she's been training under Leia so she can levitate herself and multiple things at the same time. And she learns so many Force abilities out of nowhere again. Like she's able to force pull a ship and stop it from going into orbit. We haven't seen that in a movie before. Would have been handy a lot of times before, wouldn't it? But no, she can do that and use Force Lightning. And she uses that Force Lightning accidentally and accidentally kills Chewbacca. But he didn't actually die. So that was just a very, very cheap fake out. And she can force heal. So I don't necessarily have a problem with force healing. It's an ability that's been in a lot of the other Star Wars canon that's now Legends. In a lot of the video games, force healing has been a thing. But what I didn't like is that she can use it to heal a stab wound in the stomach of Kylo Ren. That would have been handy so many other times throughout the different trilogies. But no, it just gets introduced now, and she can do it no problem. Towards the end of the movie, Rey dies, Kylo brings her back to life, and he dies from the effort. But she can do it, and she's fine. So I had a big fucking problem with that. And yes, Kylo Ren dies. I suspected he would have, but what I would have thought would have been so much cooler and better for his character as well is that if he had to live with the consequences of his actions. Like, he killed a lot of people and was responsible for a lot of destruction and all kinds of shit. But he's like, nah, peace out, I'm dead, I don't have to deal with any of this. So that was just taking the easy way out, I think. Not that he died on purpose, but just the writing. There is a good scene where Kylo has a scene with Han, so it's not a Force ghost, it's like from Kylo's memory of the scene, how it should have went in The Force Awakens. But that should have been suspicious, because Palpatine talks about being every single voice in his head and all that kind of thing and controlling him, and Kylo is seeing Han and he's not thinking that's manipulating him in any way. But anyway, I did quite enjoy that scene, but it would have been so much better, I think, if it was Luke or even Anakin Skywalker, they're Force ghosts. If it was Anakin, it would have tied into the prequel trilogy as well. If it was Luke, it could have been saying Luke saying, sorry Kylo, I failed you, and can you ever forgive me, and that kind of thing. Would have been such a better scene in my opinion. And Rey is a Palpatine, so remember how they were hyping... And Rey is a Palpatine. All those fucking fan theories that came out years ago. They were fucking right. So all of that about being nobody and that you don't need to have significant parents or that kind of thing to be powerful in the Force, and your family lineage doesn't matter. Fuck that shit. That's all that matters apparently. So Rey is a Palpatine, and Palpatine had sex at some point. That is not fun to imagine at all. Oh, jeez. But apparently Palpatine's son or daughter, whichever actually was his son or daughter, didn't really matter at all. They don't even get a name and just get killed off in a flashback scene, and you're like, what the fuck is the point of all this? And she has dark side tendencies. She's a Palpatine, so naturally she has dark side tendencies, and I don't see how your family lineage defines whether that you have dark side or light side tendencies. Like, it depends on the person, I always thought. Like, Rey just never displayed those kind of things before, and all of a sudden she's doing dark side stuff, and everyone's losing their minds. And as I said before, Palpatine can lift Star Destroyers out of ice. That kind of power in the Force has never been seen before. Remember, back in the original trilogy, where it was a huge amount of strain just to be able to lift up a fucking rock or lift up an X-Wing? But no, apparently Palpatine is so fucking powerful, he can lift up 1,000 Star Destroyers out of ice. Why were they in the ice? Did he build them down there? Did he bury them down there? Where did he get all the personnel from? Who are those people? Ugh. And he has Force Lightning that can take out an entire fleet, and he can control it so it doesn't hit his own Star Destroyers. He can only hit the Resistance. And that level of force power has never been seen. Why would he need anything else if he can do that kind of shit? Oh my god. It just seems they just wanted some big fucking grand finale and didn't think about anything else, instead of having a clusterfuck of ships and all these force powers that are just so fucking overpowered. Basically ruins the canon of Star Wars. And we get random backstories for our characters in the third movie. So apparently Poe used to be a thief and is somehow an awesome pilot at the same time. I guess you can be a thief and a pilot at the same time, but just for no reason, and then just introduce this other character with a mask, and she doesn't really do anything. Oh my god. So the Knights of Ren are useless. They were hyped up in The Force Awakens as this kind of elite guard for Kylo Ren, and then The Last Jedi, they never showed up, and in this, they're just shown to be completely incompetent. They just chase after our heroes and they can't catch them, and they fight Kylo Ren and they lose against him, and it's just pointless. Don't learn why they became the Knights of Ren, why they joined Kylo, if any of them were students at Luke's academy, and we don't learn anything else about them, and they suck. Oh, God. And it turns out Leia did train to be a Jedi. That's actually something I liked. And we get this really good scene of Luke and Leia training together. But she stopped her Jedi training because she saw a vision that if she completed her training, then her son would die. And that's just a really dumb reason. Oh my god. And what was Finn going to tell Rey? Everyone's saying that he was going to tell her that he's Force sensitive and that kind of thing, and they've alluded to it multiple times before, but why wait until you're about to fucking die to tell her that? That doesn't make any sense to me. And how did the fleet get through that bloody minefield out the front of Exegol, like through all those asteroids and lightning storms and whatever the fuck that all was? Like, it was shown to be very difficult. Kylo Ren was shown to zip all around the place to try and get through to Exegol. But all these ships managed to get through in the finale and apparently no casualties. So what was the point of that? And in talking about Finn doesn't have any trouble killing stormtroopers. He used to be a stormtrooper, remember? Back in The Force Awakens? Remember that was a thing? And he might have had issues with killing people that he used to be with and might have relationships and friendships with. He just doesn't care. He kills them all, doesn't care. He's just like a regular Resistance member. And they wasted his character. He could have been so much more interesting. He could have turned other First Order stormtroopers against the First Order. But they didn't do that, and he's completely wasted. And finally, how did Rey find the Lars homestead? I don't know how she found that place, but it must have been the Force or something. And she buries her 2 lightsabers, and she's made her own yellow one. The first time we see a yellow one in a Star Wars live-action movie. And she takes on the name Rey Skywalker. It's so dumb. So those are just all the fucking random shit that I thought was really dumb in this finale to this trilogy. As you can tell, I really didn't like this trilogy. I think I was a lot more fairer to it in my spoiler-free review, but just thinking about all these things over time, and I just thought this was just a mess. This was just a huge giant mess. If only they had a plan from the get-go and knew what they were doing with this trilogy instead of just making it up as they go along and allowing directors to make all these choices that would fuck up this story. It had potential, but they stuffed it up. Hopefully they can bounce back from this and make some better Star Wars content like The Mandalorian in the future. So undoubtedly, there are things that I missed, and there are some issues that you had. And surely there's issues that you had with this movie as well. If there's something I missed and there's something you want to discuss in the comments down below, please comment down below and we can have a discussion about all the stupid shit that happened in this movie. Am I being too unfair to this movie, or am I just not ripping on it hard enough? So, thank you for listening to me rant about this fucking movie for a few minutes. Thank you again, and I'll catch you next time.